It is the Friday, that is November 25th, 2022. Thank you very much for choosing to begin your day with us right here on Lookuptv. My name is Simba Kiage. We have a lot in front of you. I'm not alone. We do have Amwai with us this morning. Amwai, good morning.
Good morning to you, Simba. How are you this Friday?
Fantastic. I can't complain, man. Yeah. So a lot is going on. The World Cup is still going on. We're into the second matches as from tonight. Senegal has gone back to the field playing against Qatar. England is going back again. So far, so good. Your teams, how they've been performing, Amwai? Hopefully you've got a team.
Now, this is what I wanted to ask you. What do you think about the performance of African teams? Did we have a good start or was it work?
Not so bad, you would say. Ghana played a very good game against Portugal. But then that means that in the next game they have to win if they're going to qualify. Same thing to Tunisia, played a very good game. But then they ended up drawing. But that's what you'd expect for them to come up. Cameroon, not so much good because they lost to Swiss, that's Switzerland as well. So when you look at it, you would say, yes, the teams that have been expected to perform on the pitch, they have performed really well. Ghana played a very good game. Tunisia played a very good game. So we're expecting that in the next round of games today, oh, by the way, also Senegal, they played a very good game in terms of the chances that they had, but then they never converted so much. So probably bench Mendy today for Senegal and then see exactly what they can do because Mendy had a lot of mistakes in that first game. But then we're saying teams that were expected to play good matches, they're playing good matches, but we haven't seen that result. So Senegal today is going to carry Africa in terms of any chance that we have of qualifying to the round of 16. So it's now, if you've not been watching World Cup, this is the time to start watching. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Because I had some people argue maybe it wasn't a good start for the African teams. But how you put it, I believe you're not that bad off.
Yeah, generally, yeah. Because if you see who Ghana were playing yesterday, Portugal, they went against Cristiano Ronaldo. The people like João Felix, I mean, they're very good footballers, both at country level and club level. But you would say that the people that we expected to really perform in that match, they performed. Questions about whether Cristiano Ronaldo deserved the penalty that he got. We're not going to get into that, isn't it?
I'd love to get your point, though. Did he deserve it?
You know what?
I was watching some people here, and they're really complaining. There's a lot of emotions and all that, and people not just, think that it was actually supposed to be a penalty, something like that.
The rules of the game. Here's the thing. When the referee makes that decision, it is final. The people saying VAR did not intervene.
Yeah.
You see, VAR only intervenes when they're advising the referee to go back and reconsider his decision because they think indeed there is an impeachment to a goal-scoring opportunity. You get it? So VAR did not call the referee to watch, so they were also pretty much convinced that that was a foul. Is it not? That's where it starts and ends.
All right. So we are not justified to play the African card because
to not play an African
the people
card.
we were watching with saying,
okay, please don't do that.
Because somebody was saying, okay, why are we not calling VAR? Why are you not checking? And they were like, we are African, we don't.
No, but
they're not going to pay attention to that.
Amwai, VAR is also another pool of referees, by the way, that are watching that game. So it's not about us being African or anything. They did feel that indeed that was an impeachment, that was a foul at that particular point. So that's why they stood with the referee's decision, the on-pitch referee. But whenever they feel that indeed they need them, they have a second thought on the foul that has taken place in the field, they normally call the referee to go watch so that the referee, who's, by the way, the final decision-making ref, is the one on the pitch, would then use whatever they've seen to either overturn their decision or stay their decision.
Okay.
Now
that makes sense.
It does make sense, man. But anyway, quite painful. But let's see exactly how they get into the second round of the matches. Now, you see, the thing is, Tunisia has to win in their next game. Senegal has to win in the next game. Morocco has to win in the next game. Ghana has to win in the next game. It's not like England where you say, well, if you lose the second one and then you win the third one, then things are going to get better for you because of your first win. So all African teams in the World Cup now, in the second round of matches, they have to win.
They have to win.
If indeed they're going to progress.
Okay.
That's about it. Maybe I'll make a case for Tunisia because of the draw, but then for Ghana, Senegal, except for Morocco and Tunisia, then they really have to win. Yeah,
they have,
really have to win.
Some work to do, though.
Yeah, and when you look at those two teams, when we're looking at Ghana and Senegal, then those are the two teams that indeed, if we have chances then of advancing, verifying this competition, they're the ones that carry that hope. So they gotta win, whether they like it or not.
Okay, we pray for them though.
Yeah, you gotta watch though, as from today. Because Senegal is going to...
Surprisingly, you know, I don't have an African team. I'm not supposed to supporting any African team.
You see, that's the solidarity that you need to have in mind. You need to support all African teams because we're representing a continent, and then you have your favorite team. Like I keep on saying, my team is Brazil. They won yesterday. I didn't like the person who scored the goals, but here's the thing, and the fact that Jesus did not start in front of Richarlison, but I was still proud of it.
You don't like the person that is scoring the goal and that person is in your team, though?
He plays for Tottenham. Richarlison. I'm not a fan. Because there's been this comparison between Richarlison and Gabriel Jesus, who plays for Arsenal. And I'm like, if you give me Gabriel Jesus and Richarlison, now I would take Jesus any day, any time. But he played good football, especially the second goal. It's the perfect volley we've ever seen. But some of the few ones, you know how you watch a World Cup and you say the best goals, best moments? He gave us a best goal so far in the competition.
What do you use to determine whether this was the best goal? A goal is a goal, Simba, for me.
The distance from the goal, all right? From outside the box, if you get a shot, then that's a very nice goal. The way the goal has been constructed, how many passes to score it. But now, the ones that only stand out with the best goals. Volleys. Volleys is when a ball comes to the box, Amwai, it doesn't touch the ground, you connect with it, it goes into the goal. You get it? Now that's a perfect volley. And Richarlison scored like that yesterday when they were playing Serbia. Was a fantastic game. 2-0, they ended up being winners. Mitrovic could not help Brazil, but then you would see they really had a perfect game as well. For me, Brazil is a team to look at. Not even so much about Argentina and the likes of Portugal and Spain. Those two teams, they can go very far in this competition. Yep. All right. That's a snapshot. But I'm going to introduce we do have a new DJ in the building. Yeah. Anyway, so at this particular time then, I want to introduce you to the new man on the decks just before we cross over to the newspaper review this morning. So right now, I just want him to come on board, introduce himself. I'll have to do a trumpeter happy and what he plans for us this Friday. DJ, take over, man.
Thank you. For my names, I'm DJ Spice Homeboy. I'm an entertainer. I basically represent every field in music.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm here tonight to share my passion, my work with you.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are here together today. Let's celebrate.
DJ, what is your team in the World Cup?
Currently,
Where was the team?
I'll go with Argentina.
Argentina?
Yeah.
And you guys started on a very wrong note when I'm not Anyway, African.
Argentina.
Why? Is it because of Messi?
No, not literally. I just love how they put their team in front.
Okay.
Yeah, they are dedicated, though they lose some point. But we are strong. We are hoping for the best.
But Mukobana Wanjua, it's praying for the best, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway, you win your next game, you will see how it goes because the second round is starting today. Anyway, DJ will be coming to you by the way, they're going to have a conversation again with Amwai. Then after that, we'll see exactly how it is going to burn the studio so we can kick out the December cold that we're not accustomed to, the November colds, by the way, that we're not accustomed to so much in Nairobi. Anyway, for now, let's take a tiny breather. Once we come back, let's cross over and talk about what is exactly trending on your dailies this morning. at this particular time, Amwai, let's cross over to what is trending on your dailies. I do understand you have the Daily Nation. Can't we know exactly what is trending? Yes.
Something about the newspapers. I love newspapers because it matters current affairs. When it comes to the political front, you always have to expect something.
Yes.
Now, the top story here on the Daily Nation is Raila cornered. Now, the Daily Nation is trying to highlight some of the things that are happening to the ODM party leader, that is Raila Odinga, ever since he lost that election. And right now, what exactly is happening? Alliances are changing. He's losing support base and all that. So some of the things that they are put down here is different governors are pledging loyalty to President William Ruto. Jubilee Party is plotting fresh path away from Azimio. We've heard that from even Jeremiah Kioni. Risk of losing the 2.2 million Western vote block. This is after Governor Wycliffe Ambezo Oparanya, the former governor of Kakamega County, actually decided that he's not going to be supporting Raila Odinga anymore. And this is what you're talking about yesterday, what actually informs someone's decision to support someone. And when their needs are not being met, or rather whatever purpose they thought they were serving that particular coalition is done, they decide to move out. Kalonzo Oparanya, pressure for 2027 support. Now, Oparanya, I believe he also wants to ascend to power when it comes to matters presidency. Kalonzo Musyoka is also a man that is looking forward to getting into that particular position. And who exactly is Raila Odinga going to support? Because to some extent, some people still believe that he might actually be running for office in 2027. He's not confirmed that. But since we've seen him in the political arena just making rounds, some people do believe that he will actually be eyeing 2027. Uhuru's silence amid impulsion in the coalition. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has not been speaking. He's been holding peace talks on matters Ethiopia and the DRC, but we've not heard him talk about the coalition and just the Azimio coalition in totality. Now, fight to save IBC 4. We saw Raila Odinga yesterday coming out to say, now we want to say, we will not allow Deputy President, or rather President William Ruto, to actually go for the 4 dissenting commissioners, that is Cherera, Masit, Wanderi, and Justus Yangaya. And lack of job opportunities to absorb allies who failed in elections. Now, a lot of people, Simba did fail in the 2022 election that were supporting the Azimio coalition, and we're talking about the legislators from the Mount Kenya region, and right now they have nowhere to go, trying to feed them here and there, but still there's not that much positions that you can actually get them in. So Azimio la Umoja One Kenya coalition leader Raila Odinga is not sitting pretty with most of his political stronghold restless and at risk of being snatched from him. Now, some of his key allies, particularly those from Coast to Western and the Mount Kenya region, are already pledging loyalty to President William Ruto. Now, former President Uhuru Kenyatta's deafening silence is not helping matters. As things stand, the opposition chief is a man under siege. That is a story on page 4 and 5 of the Daily Nation. Is he a man under siege?
The representation of him as a man under siege, I don't understand how you would represent it like that. Because what? He has no more positions to award the guys who lost in his general elections, and the fact that the 4 dissenting commissioners, who, by the way, might or might not even take part in another general election, want to be bundled out of office. Is that what we're saying is under siege?
He's under siege because he seems to be losing his political strongholds and allies. People who are supporting him no longer want anything to do with him.
If you want to represent him like that, fine. But then, because we do know probably he might not want to run again for office in the next election. Yeah, I mean, why are we representing him as a man under siege? Question mark though. Question mark. Yeah.
This is the thing. I want to ask you a political question.
Yeah.
In regards to people getting a stand when it comes to matters politics and getting their space. Do you believe some people need to get out of the field for for others to actually get space or feel like they're being represented, they have a voice?
But the conversation about how you make political headway, by the way, politics is quite a very, very dirty game. Everybody does know that. Because right now, if Raila Odinga and his ODM battalion do not find the way forward, here's the thing, we lost a general election, and majority of the parties that we won with together in that general election might want to forge their way ahead. Listen, those who want to go, let them go. I mean, that's the same thing that happened with the likes of Kanu, isn't it?
Yeah.
The likes of NAC, you know. So for right now, it is let the party take shape. And I think for me right now, I'm not a political commentator, that they need to find another flag bearer for the ODM party.
Okay.
So that now, Raila Amolo Odinga is just the official opposition leader, but not essentially the leader of ODM party. And you can see exactly people
that
talking
makes
about...
a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you can see people talking about Uhuru Kenyatta still being the chairman of that coalition. You know, confusing messaging like that within the party should already be outlined, I would say.
Personally, I do believe people need to fight for their spaces. I don't think people need, especially in the political arena, if somebody fought for his space and managed to secure it all this time, I don't think they need to step aside for you to come and fill that particular space. I think you need to fight for your space. And push them out if you want to do that. But you need to fight for your space. So the issue or the idea of actually sitting down and waiting for somebody to step aside so that you can actually get to fill that, speak to the people, let the people, because it is the people that make a political figure, right? Another story that is making headlines here is MP's pick team to help anchor CDF in the law. Now, process of entrenching the Constituency Development Fund in the country's law, one step ahead after the National Assembly approved 8 MPs to sit on a joint ad hoc committee to amend the Constitution. Now, that is a story on the Daily Nation. You can actually get it on this particular dailies. Now, this is the thing. You remember when this debate about CDF actually started, Simba? We're talking about, oh, it's very unconstitutional. It is not, things like that. And saying, oh, members of parliament are not coming back. They're not interested because it's no longer there. The CDF is no longer there. But we did say they will find a way of actually bringing it back. And look at it. Ever since they took office, this has been the subject of debate. It never, there isn't a day that goes without them having to touch on this.
I will tell you that, Amwai, and they're going to find a way to actually bring it back. And right now, they're trying to find a way to anchor it within the law. By the way, even as we speak right now, Treasury was getting ready to distribute some money to the NCGDF. And I will tell you, under the auspices of the 2015 Act, they're saying that what was declared illegal was not the 2015 Act. It was something way before, the 2013 one, isn't it? But we leave it that for them, Amwai, and I'll tell you they'll find a way. Today, KCPE examinations are starting, kicking off. It is 3.3 million. We're going to sit for those examinations. Read that story on page 8 of the Standard. But then the same story that have been covered by the Daily Nation, the one that I'm seeing here on the Standard, the warning from Raila to Ruto about the 4 dissenting commissioners, telling them that you will not take us back to dark days. Let me just read for you this. We're saying that we're here to sound a warning to warn that no one should lie to this regime, that we will sit back and watch a return of the past repressive regime. If deepening and widening the divisions among Kenyans is what the UDA regime wants, we will only be happy to help them along that path. That's exactly what it is, and essentially, also another story that is trending on page 28 of the Standard is how now there's this revived bid to have M-Pesa split from Safaricom. Read into that on pages 28 of the Standard. I think that's it. Then that's it, in as much as the dailies are concerned this morning. Now you do know exactly what to look forward to. Once we come back, Amwai Brown and I will be taking you back to what is trending online this morning, so we can see exactly what is taking center stage once we come back. Welcome back. Online at Lookuptv across all your social media platforms. I am at Kiage Simba. Amwai Brown, where you at?
You
need to change it, by the way. Because
we're waiting for the month of December to start. Oh, yeah? So it starts clean.
New... Yeah. What is it called?
New month, new things. That's exactly how it happens.
I see that, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's just then cross our Twitch center this morning. It's quite a buzz on exactly what it is that Kenyans are talking about this morning. Let's start with the first one. and is essentially touching on a matter that we've covered throughout our introduction this morning. Now, this is Junet Mohammed who's saying, when you start using UDA youth wingers to harass and attempt to remove constitutional office holders through frivolous kangaroo processes with a dubious legal foundations, it won't be long before that route ends up at New Nyayo torture chambers.
Yeah.
Amwai, Brian, the whole conversation about taking the for commissioners off office, do you think it is something that the National House really needs to spend an entire day talking about?
Now, if they do that, then we get to that point where we have to some extent start believing what Raila Odinga is saying in regards to this particular issue, whereby the current administration is out for revenge. And let me just take you through a tweet that I just saw this morning of the president, and that is his official Twitter account. Listen to this. Just give me a moment so that I get it. The lords of impunity who destroyed oversight institutions using the handshake fraud should allow Parliament to hold rogue officials who put the nation in danger by subverting the democratic will of the people to be held to account. New order is rule of law, not wishes of big men. Now, Robert Alai, who is, you know, the member of County Assembly for Nairobi County, and Kilimani, I believe Kileleshwa Ward, he's responding to that and saying, we are waiting for you to be presidential. Now, this is the official Twitter account of the president of Kenya.
He said, we're waiting for you to be presidential.
We're waiting for you to be presidential, because this does not look so presidential when it comes from him. I don't know who tweeted this on his behalf. And if at all it's, I don't know, this is something different from where I sit. What are we seeing?
So,
this is 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, would you like for the president to be involved in those kind of conversations now?
No.
As a president?
I wouldn't. I don't want him to be involved, because then he puts himself in a very different position. I would appreciate if probably he was doing things behind the scenes so that we start saying, it is the president painted all over it. He's the one pushing this agenda, but not coming out and actually, you know, tweeting about it and saying, by the way, this is my stand on this particular issue. And calling people the laws of impunity. We are still back in the times when you're still campaigning and things like that. Who destroyed oversight institutions using the handshake fraud should allow Parliament to hold rogue officials who put the nation in danger by subverting the democratic will of the people to be held to account. Now, this is the thing.
But you know, just before you weigh in on that, but as the head of the declared majority in the House, isn't it? Do you think you should support whatever the majority members of Parliament in Parliament are talking about?
He should support what?
The majority motion.
The majority motion. Now, this is the thing. When the majority speak in the House, that is the voice of the president that is actually speaking. That's more than enough. We don't need him to come out and actually make it clear to us on Twitter. And I don't...
not my words, my brand's words. So
let me listen. Let me tell you something. I want to read something that a response to that particular tweet. Now, Ekido Japheth says, your administration is bound to completely fail, Mr. President. The moves you are making are reverting this country back to Moi era. As a man of God, you better focus on changing lives of Kenyans and try mend wounds with those who never supported your cause. No more grudges. That's the thing.
Anyway, we'll leave it there. Am I, Brian? I want you to look at this next tweet this morning that we're focusing on as well, in as much as what Kenyans are talking about online. Now, this is Raila Odinga, which is the same thing as well. Now, with all the problems Kenyans are going through, a focus on punishing 4 commissioners who did not agree with their chairman is trivial, vindictive, and vile. It must stop. It'll not end well. Do you agree there?
I do agree.
Listen, that there are priorities now that we need to focus on as a country. Yes, they dissented. The due process was followed, isn't it? We went to courts. They were told, it's your democratic right. You might agree or disagree. Fine. Come to court. The entire case was announced by the High Court. Then would it make sense then for us just to say, okay, done and dusted, go on with your jobs, because you did not commit any wrong, by the way, for saying no to the results. Because within the purview of your jobs, you had the right to say that.
Exactly.
Because had something gone wrong, essentially, they were expected to say yes or no, isn't it? So
if they did not agree with it, they did not agree. That's the thing. There's no crime in not agreeing. This is like forcing people to get to agree with something. They did not agree with it because maybe for them they felt it was done in an opaque nature. It was done in an opaque nature. So they felt like, since there's no transparency here, why are we agreeing with whatever we can't see? So for them, it is their right. They have the right to say, by the way, no. I don't believe their intent was to come and divide the country and cause chaos and things like that. So that did not happen. So don't do that.
I'll tell you that. Anyway, that's a conversation that we're going to see develop as we go on with this week, by the way, and next week, because we're waiting to see exactly what the fate of those four is going to be. And you see the president is weighing in heavily on it. Raila Amolo Odinga is warning the president not to take that route. It's just for you and I to sit and watch the circus, as they say. Hopefully, brand, is it the medali or the proverb? It's the proverb. There's a difference between proverb and medali, isn't it? That says, ndovu wawili wakipigana nyasi ndio umea, isn't it? So for us, we hope that sisi kama nyasi hatutaumia. Because this is not our fight, I would say.
Hii nyasi yao, I think iko hapo juu kidogo. Kuna wala atakanyagiwa hapo juu kabla wafike kwetu, lakini sawa.
Anyway, we take a short break right here on The Morning Drift. Once we come back, I'll be taking you straight to the newsroom, where we'll get to see what is trending this morning, in as much as our news are concerned. Good morning.
The Healing Jesus campaign is coming to Kenya. Join evangelist Dag Heward-Mills as he preaches the gospel of salvation with miracles, signs and wonders. The campaign will be held in 2 towns, Thika on the 29th of November to the 1st of December, and Nyeri from the 2nd to 4th of December at 4 p.m. each night. There will also be a dynamic gathering for pastors dubbed Identifying Dangerous Enemies Conference during the mornings of the Thika campaign from the 29th of November to the 1st of December. In addition, there will be a pastors conference on the 3rd of December, which is the second day of the Nyeri campaign. For more information and registration, please call the numbers on the screen. +254 792 123 789 or +254 724 049 619. You can also visit the website ideckenya.org. Kenya will never be the same again after this encounter with the Anointed and His anointing through the Healing Jesus campaign. We will see you there.
Welcome, you're watching The CEO. On this show, where we invite masters, captains of industry.
It's all about working in teams. Customers are happy, it's a good month, the markets are good. I mean, those are very exciting moments.
Ladies and gentlemen who tell us where and how to find money and put money in our pockets, and how to go about doing business in the best possible way.
For me, I'm not serving myself, I'm serving community.
So mimi nilikuwa mmoja wa timu kubwa ya Hasla na ngojea mazao yake.
Na bila shaka mpenzi mtazamaji, ni awamu nyingine tena ya bunge la mwenyeji, ambapo tunasikia tu maoni ya wenyeji, hasa wananchi wa kawaida. Je, maoni ni yapi?
Anakwambia wananchi ndio kila kitu. Unaona dips na system ni wananchi. Unaona vile wamenyorosha watu bwana.
Tumeng'oa nanga kwenye bunge la mwenyeji.
So ile kitu nasema tunamuomba asituachilie.
Hey kids, when left in the kitchen, can you cook? Apart from cooking, can you bake? As you can see, our chef Wendy Nyambura has really made a really wonderful meal. From 9 a.m. kids, it's Kids Connection live on your screen.
With us here on the program, my name is Brian Amwai. Once again, remember you can be part of this by engaging us on our socials. That is at Amwai Brian on Twitter, at Lookuptv. The hashtag is The Morning Drift. We are also live on Facebook and on YouTube. Be sure to send us your feedback there, and we'll be able to sample some of it as we continue the program. Tell us where you're watching us from and what you think about the conversation that we are having today. Right? Let's get into the bulletin. Azimio leader Raila Odinga has defended the 4 IEBC commissioners after attending the hearing of the petition to oust them before the Parliamentary Committee on Justice and Legal Committee. Now, Odinga has criticized the government for what he has called a capture of institutions. Edwin John Mukora now reports.
Against the 4 IEBC commissioners, including Vice Chairperson Juliana Cherera, Commissioners Irene Masit, Francis Madenge and Justice Nyagaya, before the Justice and Legal Committee JLAC over the 4 petitions filed to oust them out of office. The Azimio leadership has condemned the case, saying these 4 fought for the country's integrity and are the ones being punished.
What we witnessed today at JLAC is a microcosm of what the UDA regime is doing and is prepared to do in this country, which is to cannibalize and to destroy the institutions of democracy so that it can husband all power in this country.
Azimio leader Raila Odinga has advised the 4 commissioners to boycott the JLAC hearings, saying the process is unconstitutional and against their rights. Odinga has said the hearing is not just since the case against the other 3 commissioners, including the chairperson Wafula Chebukati and Commissioners Boya Molu and Abdi Gulie, has never been listened to till now. Further, Odinga has warned the Kenya Kwanza government against a dictatorial regime like in the 80s and 90s, saying the opposition will not sit and watch as that happens.
The capture is now being extended to our 2 houses of parliament. Swiftly, Kenyans are being turned into passive bystanders in the affairs with grave implications for our unity, our stability, and governance as a nation. The root administration is taking us back to the state of affairs last witnessed in the Nyayo regime of the 1980s.
On her side, now Kenya leader Martha Karua has said the petitions against the 4 commissioners are intended to prevent them from taking over the commission, especially Juliana Cherera, since Chebukati tenure is coming to an end in January.
Chebukati, Gulie and Molu should already be on leave, on terminal leave. It should have started on the 1st of November. They insist on illegally presiding over a by-election in order to give us convoluted results, like they gave us convoluted results of the general election.
While Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka has accused the Kenya Kwanza government of planning to capture IEBC in preparation of the 2027 general elections.
I don't like things that are politically motivated. And therefore impeachments, Kenyans remember. Politically motivated impeachment at the Senate, and this is what is being worked out. I want to urge the committee of JLAC to stand as a different committee, believing in the rule of law, fair justice, administrative justice.
Edwin John Mukora, Lookuptv.
All right, now 3 people have been confirmed dead in Soweto, Kayole, following a reported outbreak of cholera in the area. Now, locals attribute the outbreak to water contamination and now want the government to take radical measures to repair sewer lines, as this is posing a major health risk in the city residents.
Kayole, watu 3 washakufa kutoka hiyo hospitali ya kwetu hapa juu. Kiini cha hii mambo yote ya korela, hii mambo ya kukimbiza watu hoteli haifai hata. Kiini kikuu ni hii sewage. Hii sewage imelipuka hapa muda mrefu sana. Na hapa watoto wako wanacheza, watoto wa shule wanacheza hapa. na hata vipanda vya mboka viko hapo.
Mimi saizi nalaumu serikali sababu tuko na maji ilikuja huku Soweto fresh. Kwenda kuchotewa hiyo maji ilikuwa inanuka sewage. Kumaanisha hiyo maji nani sewage zimeblock, sina nani zimechanganyikana pipe ya maji safi imechanganyikana pipe ya maji ya choo. Haya, angalieni mitaro ndio hizi zimefuda ni zimejaa. Hakuna mwenye anatufungulia. Kanjo wanasanya takataka kila wakati. Mitaro zimejaa. Mvua ikinyesha, hizo masiweji ndio hiyo. Kianga sasa serikali ndio inatakana itengeneze mazingira kwanza ikuwe safi, maji wa treat maji. Kweli corona mimi nani cholera, kweli nasikia cholera iko. Lakini sasa kama cholera iko na bado watu wenyewe hawasaidii. Maseptic zinalipuka. Hawasaidii watu, watafanya aje?
Sisi tulikuwa tunaomba serikali tuangalie maslahi yetu. Juu watu wanaumia, watoto wanaumia, karo zimepanda, kila kitu imepanda. Hii mambo ya kanjo kufunga mahoteli, hii ni kasi ya upusi. Juu mimi naweza toka asubuhi ninunue hata kama mandazi 2 nikunywe na maji. Saa hii wamekuwa wanakimbisana na watu wa hoteli hizi ndogo ndogo. Afadhali waangalie environment vile inakuwa, wanafurugana na watu biashara ndogo ndogo. Sasa hii ni maisha gani yenye tunakaa?
To matters education, over 100 schools in the 14 counties of within Rift Valley have been put on red alert over possible examination cheating as learners prepare to sit for their national examinations. Now, speaking during the Regional Security and Intelligence Committee meeting, Rift Valley Regional Coordinator Malim Mohammed said that they are prepared to deal with exam rigging. Shadow Kareria with this story.
As the national examination days draws near, about 100 schools from the Rift Valley region have been put on the red alert over the rigging claims.
Tunataka kusema ya kuwa kuna wale wachache wamejaribu, lakini kwa wakati huu tumesema hiyo mchezo haitaweza kufanyika. Na kama kuna yule anapanga mambo kama hiyo, tunataka kupatia onyo kali, usidhubutu kamwe kwa sababu haitakubalika.
Speaking during the Regional Security and Intelligence Committee meeting, the Rift Valley Region Coordinator Malim Mohammed stated that they are ready to maintain security in the region.
Sitatumika mahali labda kuna tatizo, labda gari haiwezi kaingia, kuna pikipiki ya chief itaweza kusaidia. Na tunajua wakati huu msimu wa mvua pia kuna zile seasonal rivers ama streams ambaye hazipitiki, kama tumeshuhudia sehemu za Samburu wakati uliopita kwa sababu hizo malaga. Pia tutahakikisha kuna ndege ambayo itashughulika kupeana huduma ya dharura kwa mambo kama hiyo.
Malim stated that it's only 2 schools from Baringo County which will have to do the examination in other schools due to insecurity concerns.
Kuna shule inaitwa Arabal ambaye iko na candidates 18 wa KCPE na pia wako na watoto 14 wale tunasema grade 6. Na pia kuna shule ile inaitwa Kapindasum wako na candidates 36 wa KCPE. Hawa wataenda kufanya mitihani yao shule inayojulikana kama Chimorongion Primary School.
The regional coordinator, however, warned students and schools who may have been planned to cheat in exams, stating that they will be dealt with appropriately.
Hata kuna zile mashule hatutaki kwa condemn mapema, but we are aware. Wale tunasema notorious. We are aware na tutahakisha ya kuwa tumeweka mikakati. Yule yote anapanga jama kama hiyo amejulikana mapema bila yeye kuleta madhara kama hiyo.
Shadow Kareria, Lookuptv.
Asanteni sana. Thank you for coming.
We do wish you the very best as you sit for your exams, that is those who are sitting for the KPSEA, that is the Kenya Primary Secondary Assessment or something like that, and also the KCPE and the KCSE, grade 6, form 4 and class 8. Okay, moving on, former Turkana County AIC Church Archbishop Silas Siego has urged Kenyans to volunteer more in order to provide food for aid to the residents of the county following the hunger situation that still continues to be unbearable in the county.
Hapa kuna njaa.
watazamaji, kuna njaa sehemu hii ambaye labda wale wengine ambaye tunakaa katika nchi kama Trans Nzoia na sehemu zingine hatuwezi kuelewa. Ni njaa kweli. Unaona umati ya watu hapa, wamekuja watu zaidi ya 500 na kila mtu anakuja na mfuko, anataka chakula. Tumejaribu tuhesabio kupatia kila mtu chakula kidogo kidogo, marakwe pamoja na shifted maize.
Ikiwa ni neema yake Mwenyezi Mungu tupate mvua ni sawa, lakini vile ninaona hali ya ukame itaendelea. Kwa hivyo hii hali ya njaa bado itaendelea.
Sisi tunaangalia Mungu na watu wa makampuni na makanisa na serikali kwenyewe. Sisi tunajua kwamba serikali iko atatusaidia, na tunashukuru kwa sababu serikali iko karibu na sisi. Tunashukuru kwa ile msaada ametusaidia.
Right, away from that, let's get to something that has been making headlines in the country for the past few days. Now, former Naivasha MP John Mutudo has called on the government to consider investing in research on GMO seeds before allowing them to be imported into the country. Now, speaking in Nakuru, John has said the government needs to buy maize from farmers in the Rift Valley and Western counties, aiming to reduce food prices. Lisa Maina has more.
Former Nakada boss John Mutudo now says he chaired the Agriculture Committee in the 10th Parliament when he called on to the rejection of importation of GMO seeds into the country.
Brigade that fought GMO during the 10th Parliament, and that is what the retired cabinet was trying to undo within minutes. I want to first of all advise my friend William Ruto on acts of war. You do not arm a surrender. That's a rule in the rules of power. Those people are living and you don't arm them. They armed you with poison.
He now calls on the government to stop the scheme that a few businessmen are selling the GMO seeds at the expense of the citizens.
Nothing like feeding people with GMO. Only people who want to make money, people who want to make to kill others will do that. 5 years, 10 years down the line, you are going to have very, very weird kind of things. Cancer is just one of them.
The tough-talking Mutudo now wants the president to work with the trusted people downplaying the National Irrigation Board, NIB, saying that action should be taken against NIB after they embezzled public funds.
Samuel Ruto, you are PhD. You are more educated than most of us. But keep out of this conversation and sack those fools whom you have assigned duties to come and deal with GMO. Keep all those con men out. Keep that NIB away completely from that scene. Take to jail all those people who did bush clearing for 3.5 billion. There were 50 companies which were done very quickly by NIB and others to go and do bush clearing, and they took, before even the project could start, they stole over 3.5 billion. In a project of 7 billion, you come and steal 3.5 on bush clearing, and you also do it poorly. How can it succeed?
Lisa Maina, Lookup News.
Now, the Ministry of Environment and Forestry is now calling on the country to prioritize and promote waste management to reduce harmful emissions at a time when the country has adopted the Waste Management Policy Act in a bid to battle climate change, which is now a global issue.
To keep the 1.5-degree goal as embedded in the IPCC report alive will be either won or lost in this decade. With only 7 years left to achieve the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and the UN Decade for Ecosystem Restoration, and we also have to reduce global emissions by 43% before 2030. We have to do all this in 7 years. And to achieve this, we have to align our policies and actions with the latest science to prevent this catastrophe that is coming ahead of us. To further promote comprehensive waste management practices, mainstream circular economy principle in all sectors and reduce greenhouse gas emissions, the government of Kenya, through the Ministry of Environment and Forestry, has adopted the first Sustainable Waste Management Policy and Act. The new policy and act has progressive provisions for waste management and institutional framework for both counties and national government.
All right, now in this week's episode of Bonaman, we highlight a story of lost glory due to alcohol abuse. Now, Lawrence Nyaga, a 44-year-old family man, lost himself to alcoholism, missing out on the upbringing of his 3 children. He regrets his reckless decisions and is working towards compensating the times he has been an absentee father. Cecilia Lubanga has more.
In the family, I have uncles and relatives who are alcoholics. I used to admire how they feel. When they got high, maybe they have some stuff in the house, I used to be chased away. Now I was like kind of one time, when I grow up, you guys, you know who I am, because I'll have to feel like you and I will show off to you that I am the man.
Where and how we are brought up plays a major role in who we turn out to be today. 44 years on earth, with 22 of those years lost to alcoholism. Lawrence Nyaga has made a lot of bad decisions, including missing out on the upbringing of his children. It is a story of grace to grass. This is Bonaman.
44 years of age and a father of 3. He walks for miles and hours just to ensure he makes a sale on his ice pop business in order to fend for his family. In his heydays, Lawrence narrates the transformation and the hard part.
Well, I had a very beautiful job, like in the best of East Africa. I'd been given a region in Meru, where I used to earn quite some good money. And I just quitted the job because alcoholism had taken over. I could not respond, could not report and even respond to the clients the way it was supposed to be to happen. Even my family, actually, family members, brothers and sisters, would describe me as an alcoholic. Even if I had a simple problem that they could fix, they were like, no, him is not the kind of person that we are to help at the moment, because he's just an alcoholic. Even if it's something to do with 100 shillings or 200 or 500, I could not get it because they thought it would all go for alcohol.
It is a disease that innocently kicked off at the age of 15 years. He will sneak out of school alongside a group of friends to go imbibe. Little did he know it will be something that he will struggle with for 22 long years.
We were drinking hiding. You were doing the hide and seek kind of a thing. Yeah, and that's how I gradually started becoming an alcoholic. Little did I know that it was spoiling me, it was destroying me.
His alcoholism has become a demon devouring him from the inside, keeping him thirsty for more each time. It rendered him incompetent at work, making him lose his sources of income. In search of greener pastures, he landed a tourism job in Dubai that did not last either.
There we had money, enough money that we would spend on alcohol, spend on drinking. And eventually at the end of it all, I got laid off. And after being laid off, it was just a struggle of just how to, for accommodation, food, etc., etc. So life wasn't easy.
This will see him alongside his fellow Kenyans start an alcohol business, the only thing he knew too well. However, things took a turn for the worst, leading to his deportation back to the country.
The government of Dubai, actually, they were very keen to know what exactly is happening with this kind of a car that is, we normally do see is leave in the morning and come back in the evening when it's loaded. What are these people supplying? So they managed to find out that it's alcohol that we were supplying. So we got arrested. The decision of the judge was to send these people home. Actually, my profile there wasn't very good because we used to fight a lot with the Nigerian people, with the Nigerian guys, because we felt that they were intimidating us. I came back to Kenya. Still, I never stopped drinking. Doctors had warned me not to drink. They had requested me to follow the medication, use the proper diet, not to drink. Because the time I left Kenyatta National Hospital, my kidneys had a problem. They were failing. I was supposed to be kuwekewa catheters to assist in the cleaning system. So the doctors warned me, if I drink, mimi nikuzikwa.
That was not enough to keep his itchy hands off the bottle. His wife and children suffered the consequences.
Moving from State House Road to Kahawendani, where they came back to be hosted. Yeah, even if it's a young boy or young girl, psychologically it happens that there's something wrong. They shifted from Maxwell School to a local school, a village school. Then from there, they moved from that village school. We went to Meru. Now they went to a day school, a government school, where that was not their lifestyle. That was not the way their life had begun. 99% I'm drunk.
Life is totally different from what he pictured when he started off.
When I sit down and look back, there are those areas that I feel I did wrong. And I normally tell God, now God forgive me. I need to make amendments with my family for the places that I did mistakes. And for the most obvious mistakes of drinking, God first, forgive me, my family, forgive me. I reached my turning point from an hospital bed. There's an article, there's a writing that says, it doesn't matter how far you fall, it matters how high you bounce. Now I want to reach that bouncing high with a lot of resilience.
He lost it all. Is it fate or his own undoing? That we don't know. But one thing I know for sure is that alcohol remains a menace that devours societies at a drastic rate. Lawrence Nyaga now tries to recollect his remaining pieces of his life with the hope that he will at least be able to recover half of what he has lost in life.
If God sends his angels down to me, I know for sure, for a fact, that I'll be a counselor. I want to handle these people who are suffering with alcoholism, because I know men, we are cowards. Because tunaambiwa watu ati kufa kimwanaume. Kufa kimwanaume, that's nonsense, because you're dying with your problems. Nobody will know that you have a problem that's in you. Men should speak up. Yeah. We men, we have a problem, we have a weakness. We go laughing at women at wanaenda chama. Hiyo ni mshene wanaenda kupiga. That mshene helps them, I believe for a fact. Believe me, it helps me, because they go and share with Mama Nani. You share with Mama Nani that unajua jana nilipigwa. Then Mama Nani will ask her, how then are you handling this? Ati hapana, nilienda to so and so's house. Anamwambia hapana, hata mimi juzi niligonga na nilistick to that house. Anasema kumbe, yes, mjenyekea, go there and you'll put things in position. You'll be able to manage. But men, we are just there to be seen at sisi tumejikaza ni wanaume, but we are dying. Now in alcoholism, so many men that they know for a fact, they know that there's something eating them up.
Globally, the harmful use of alcohol resulted in some 3 million deaths, translating to 5.3% of all deaths worldwide. And Lawrence escaped the list by a whisker. But Winston Churchill will put it, the price of greatness is responsibility. Cecilia Lubanga, Lookuptv.
All right, now that does it for us when it comes to matters, current affairs, and from the newsroom. Thank you so much. We want to take a short break. When we come back, I'll be speaking to DJ Spice on his DJing journey, and also he'll be playing you some music here to just usher the weekend the best way we know how here on Lookuptv. As always, this is Kuserereka Friday. Continue engaging us on our socials. That is at Amwai Brand on Twitter, at Lookuptv. The hashtag is the morning drift, or if you like, Kuserereka Friday. All right? Don't go too far. We'll be back in just a moment.
Vera Beauty and Fashion College is focused on being the leading technical and vocational training institute in the region.